Oh, you know what I did? I watched fucking on HBO Max. I still have our boss's sign in, which he's not our boss anymore, so I don't know what we should start calling him. Ex-boss. I'm using his account or whatever, and I watched a Tom and Jerry movie the other day. It was Tom and Jerry Cowboy something. They were cowboys. A little disappointing.
Is it the one? Have you ever seen the video where it's this dude commentating over
the scene where he flips the gun, he's like, whatever,
He goes, roll a cigarette, let the mouse lick it. Yeah, bitch, pop it with the gun. Bam, one pull, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
What's he say? Howdy, bitch.
Yeah.
Is that from that movie?
No, it's not from that movie. That's an episode.
Man.
That's a fucking good
Howdy,
one.
bitch.
But no, the movie was a little disappointed. They're like trying to save a ranch or whatever that's being overrun by prairie dogs and by some guy.
Really?
And the problem is they're friends. They're working together in this one to fight another guy. And I'm like, I want my Thomas and Jeremiah to kill each other.
Isn't that what the new movie is about?
Yes and no. The new movie, they're fighting the whole time. And then they become friends for like a common cause. This movie, they just start out as brothers. They're like owned by the same family.
They're boys.
The family has the cat, and the family also likes the mouse. And they feed the mouse and shit.
Never once have I had a mouse in my house and been like, yo, check out this fucking thing. This thing's
Look
pretty
at
neat.
him.
And I like petting his little head.
And then you fucking Lenny him and pop him.
I saw a mouse went in my room once, and I fucking screamed and kicked it. But I missed. I didn't kick it fully. It ran back into the wall. I had a hole in my wall at the time.
Chris fucking punted it.
I tried to. I missed.
Attempted punting. But yeah. So that movie was okay. I don't know. It was a little disappointing, but yeah.
Hello, welcome to the 101st installment of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. We're your hosts, Chris and Jordan.
That's me, baby. I'm still reeling from my promotion, baby. So if you're new to the show, I was co-host 25 minutes ago. So I've been promoted.
No, you were host for the last one.
Yeah, I know. It was like an hour.
First 99 episodes.
Yeah. I've been promoted. So if you're new to the show, as always, find us Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Pocket Cast, and the RSS feed linked below. Put it in wherever the fudge you want. And as always, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok. Thomas question concerns, send them over there, send them to YouTube comment section, or send them with death threats to the email, synapsemisfire@pm.me. And we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Read it out in the show.
I don't know if it got caught in the recording, but I'm still having an allergies moment. Took my allergy medicine this morning. I take my allergy medicine every morning because in the summer I will die. It's still not working. My left eye is juicing.
He's juicing, dude.
And it's itchy.
I remember that one time that you almost died in the high school parking lot trying to help me move cookies.
Well, yeah, that was
a
not
good
an
time.
allergies moment, though. That was an asthma
That was
moment.
an asthmatic moment. You
Yeah.
Chris looking like a fucking grape.
Good times.
Good times. Too bad you didn't die, to be honest.
Yeah,
Then
too
this
bad.
show wouldn't
That's
have
a
been made.
shame.
I wouldn't have spent all this money with you, and
Yeah, it's a shame, honestly.
it's a real shame. You know what I could have bought? I could have bought like tons of strippers for the amount of money we put into this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jordan,
Yeah.
it's been an eventful day for us.
Yeah, it's been an eventful day. Yeah. Yeah, you could say that. We just hosted episode 100. Check it out if you haven't.
Yeah. The episode itself went pretty well.
What do you mean by the episode itself? What exactly didn't go well?
Well, Jordan, Thursday of this week, I believe, or Wednesday or whenever, you had put in an order at Walmart for a custom-made cake.
Yeah.
With
that's right.
an edible picture on it.
Right. This photo right here, if you see. Yeah. I did put in an order. It's nice affordable cake.
Yeah, so it was a nice, it was a good price. It was fine. And Jordan put in the order, and they said it'll be ready by 9 a.m. on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened at 9 a.m. on Saturday, Jordan?
Yeah, so I put in the pickup time. I had yesterday off. We had yesterday off, which was Friday. So I could have picked it up then, but I was like, no, let me get Saturday to be nice and fresh for us. I'll bring it right to Chris's because the Walmart is like maybe, I don't know, half a mile that way. It's like right there.
Yeah.
And straight shot. I'm like, this will be fucking epic. So I text Chris this morning. I'm like, yo, dude, it's like 8:20. I'm out. I'm gonna go get the cake. I'll be at your house. Let's do this. Episode 100, baby. Let's go. Let's rock and roll. I go to Walmart. I'm in a great mood. I slept like shit, but I'm in a great mood. Get to Walmart, and I park. and I hear a window roll down on the side of me, and I turn, and it's this lady, and she goes, "Hey, they're closed." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "The power is out." And I was like, "Oh, that's fine. I'm just picking something up. They shouldn't care, maybe." So I go up to the front to get the cake, and the guy's like, "Yeah, we had a power outage." Keep in mind, everywhere else has power. We had a power outage, so, like, we're closed. And I was like, "Oh, that sucks." But I was like, so here's the story. I'm picking up a cake. Can I get the cake? It's probably done. And he was like, "No." I was like, "Okay." "Can I get a text message for when you're open?" "No." I was like, "Okay." So I'm currently of the stance that Walmart is not going to get their money for that cake. They can keep it all they fucking want.
You haven't paid for it yet, so you're not on the hook for it, really.
No, I hope they put up like a wanted poster and it's a photo of our cake of you and me pointing to the fucking 100.
Yeah. Because I've done a similar thing where when I got tires, I went to a tire shop and I asked for specific tires, Continental DWS tires. And they said, "All right, we'll order them. No problem." Never heard back. Hadn't paid them. I went to a different tire place. I got tires that day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so they had a power outage and we couldn't get our cake. So I was kind of upset because I was like, "Oh my god, here comes the cascading effect where everything is going to fail on Chris and I. We have this plan.
Well,
we put in a plan. We're fucked." But then I thought about it as I drove to Chris's. I texted him a very ominous message. I said, "Chris, fuck us already."
yeah, and I was like, "Oh man, the
And
fucking
then-
cake blew up or something."
And then I said, "I'll let you know when I'm there." And on the way to Chris's, I'm like, "Oh man, it's over. Like, we're just not gonna have a cake." That was like one of the big points of the whole episode because it doubled as Chris's birthday episode. Like, it's gonna be stupid now. It's ruined. And then I had the idea. I'm like, well, we could just buy a cake and put the photo on it like a piece of paper with a printer to at least have something work out.
Yeah.
So that's what we ended up doing. You will have seen that in episode 100 if you did. It actually ended up being kind of funny.
Yeah, so it was a whole situation. So
That was step one.
firstly, the cake was a fail. So,
But the new cake we got was pretty bomb.
So I was like, whatever, man. Let's just go get all the decorations and stuff, and we'll just swing by the grocery store, grab another cake, and it'll be fine. And we go to, Party City. We grab all the shit we need to get. Which, mind you, Jordan and I did like 6 laps of this party store, and we couldn't find any like generic party hats or anything like that. So I was like, I guess we just take off then. And Jordan walks up to the counter and goes, "Hey, where are the party hats at?" He goes, "This is probably going to be the dumbest question you've ever gotten, but where are the party hats?"
That's what I said to the lady. And we walked out of aisle 8 when I said this.
And
she
they
goes,
were
"They're
in aisle 8.
eight."
So we walked past them like 5 times.
So we found some party hats.
So the Party City was actually a good time. I had a good time at Party City.
Yeah,
okay?
we were just shooting the shit.
We were making fun of all the shit that was there. It was a good time.
Yeah.
I enjoyed our excursion there.
Right.
So then we were like, okay, we gotta go to the grocery store, get our cake, and then we gotta get the picture. So we already swung by Walmart again to see if they were open.
On the way back.
On
Because
the way
Party
back.
City was a ways away. It was like a 20-minute drive.
So we come back, still closed. Very clearly have power. The lights are on.
Yeah, as I asked her, I'm like, "You guys still lose power and close?" She's like, "Yeah," and I look behind her and like the whole store is illuminated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever. So, like, whatever. Let's just go to the grocery store. We go to the grocery store. We get our cake. And... Or we were pulling out of the Walmart to go to the grocery store. And Jordan goes, "Hey, did your printer print color?" And I go, "Buddy, my printer doesn't even print." And he goes, "Fuck, can we go to, like, Staples or something?" And I guess, but it's like, it's all the way back where
We just
Party
came
City, where we just came from. And he goes, "Fuck. Well, I could just go print it at my apartment," which was a shorter drive. And the grocery store was on the way.
It was in the same direction, yeah.
We passed the grocery store. We went to the grocery store, grabbed the cake, put it in my car. And we drove, to Jordan's apartment. He ran upstairs, printed his thing, printed the pictures in a couple of different sizes, ran back down, looked at it, mocked it up on the cake, and went, "Good." We drove back to my house. At my house. Bring all the stuff in. You know what? We had some setbacks, but you know what? It's fine.
It'll be a good day.
It's great. We go to blow up these now disheveled balloons. And, you know, they're all inflated. Great. How are we going to hang them up? Well, put a thumbtack in it or something. And that wasn't going to work because there's nothing for it to go into. This is just empty space behind here. So I was like, well, you just put some tape on the other side. And I look and I go, oh, yeah, that's right. I don't have any tape. Or duct tape specifically. So I look around the entire house and I go, Jordan, I think I said to him verbatim, I said, Jordan, I shit you not when I say there is not a speck of tape in this house.
Chunk ate it all, apparently.
He was hungry, you know? So that was already a thing. It's like, we couldn't fucking put the balloons up. So what we ended up doing is, I was like, oh, I guess we could string them up or like do something, figure something out.
Looking for wire initially.
And I was like, I saw a shoe on the ground. I go, a shoe that I hadn't worn in a very, very long time. And I was like, I got it. Ripped the shoelace right off that bitch. And we ran it through the strings of the balloon and we pinned it up to the ceiling.
So yeah, last episode we had all these great plans and the balloons were held up by a shoelace.
Shoelace, yeah. So that was already a thing, you know. So...
And then Chunk was pissing us off, too.
And Chunk was pissing us off because we had our Party City bag. It was a paper bag. And if it makes noise and it's bag-shaped, he loves it.
He was trying to fuck our bag, dude.
So he was trying to get in there. And we had trash and stuff in there, too. It was all plastic stuff, so he was trying to eat that.
You walked away to, I think, go look for tape. And he flipped over the bag and pulled out the plastic wrap that the balloons were in and was trying to fucking swallow it in front of me. So I grabbed it from him. And he just kept grabbing it. I was like, you fucking
so what I ended up eventually doing is kicking him out. To
literally punting him just.
To literally, you know, almost no effect. Like, he went away for a little, you know, a couple of seconds and he came back. And, you know, I kicked him out and I took the Party City bag and I put it behind a closed door so he couldn't get at it. So there's nothing else we can mess with. We originally got party blowers, the little noise makers, and Jordan took them out of the package first, and he blew into it, and it made no noise. It made zero noise whatsoever.
It just extended out like a tongue.
He goes, these ones don't make noise. I go, no, that can't be right. They all make noise. That one just has to be fucked up. So I grab another one.
There's 8 of them, by the way.
I took one out and I tried it. Nothing. I took another one. Tried it. Nothing. And then every time I pulled one of these out, I was getting progressively more and more pissed off. And I was just throwing them on the floor. And at this point, I was so fucking mad. I was like, okay, the first thing, the cake's fucked up. We can't even put the goddamn balloons up. And the fucking party blowers that are supposed to... They're called noise makers. They're specifically supposed to make noise, and they don't make noise. I was so fucking mad. That pissed me off way more than it should have.
Yeah, I was like...
It was so fucking annoying. So, you know, all that had happened. And I just kind of like... I sat down.
Put the fan on.
Put the fan on, because I was sweating like a fucking pig. I was just drenched. I was wet. And so I put the fan on. I was chilling, relaxing. You know what? We've had some setbacks, but it's all set up now. You know, we're going to have to fucking dub in the party blower noise, but whatever. You know, I'm just chilling. And then, you know, we did the episode.
Yeah, and we made an agreement before recording that we weren't going to talk about the bad stuff on episode 100. We were saving it for this episode.
Yeah.
Because that was our happy, jolly episode.
Those are good vibes only. So
if you're coming from that episode, you're going to be like, what the fuck happened?
So, yeah, this is the curse of us is the thing. Is like, we will plan something extensively.
To a T.
And
down
there
to the
is
minute.
Almost always a factor outside our control that ruins our plan almost entirely, if not entirely.
Like Walmart in this instance.
Which was like, it was a cascading effect, like you said. It was like Walmart, and then, you know, the fucking had to get the cake, and then the fucking thing didn't work, and it was like, it was just annoying.
Yeah.
It's very annoying.
So, granted, without the Walmart thing, we still wouldn't have had a way to pin this, and we still would have had shitty blowers, but it just feels, when you're in the moment, like a cascade effect. It feels like that was the catalyst, everything went downhill from there. And we talked about that extensively last episode about our camping trip and how that got, canceled on us out of our control. So it just feels like every time we plan like a IRL video or like a big project or anything like that, something out of our control fucking destroys it. But
Yep.
I will say we did a good job of picking up the pieces this time and getting right back to it. So
Yeah.
props to us.
So, that's... it was just a rough morning, all right? It was just a rough morning.
The cake I thought was going to be a big deal. That ended up being the least annoying part.
Honestly, yeah. And the replacement cake we got was pretty good.
It was pretty fucking
It was
good.
certainly a cake.
It was certainly a cake, yeah.
So,
It was very good. It was filling, too. I felt like, oh, man, after. I was surprised.
it was pretty good. So, it was just not a good time.
Yeah. Episode 100 was a good time, but everything before it was not.
The episode was definitely like me sitting down in front of the fan and like recentering. That was fun. That was what made it for me. It's because like if I had just been as hot as I was and then I jumped into the episode, it would have been a terrible one.
Yeah.
So I had to be like, okay, relax. It's all fine. It's all set up now, and just it's gonna be a fine episode, and it was. It turned out all right.
Ended up being a pretty damn good episode. So, with all that negativity out of the way, hopefully this episode turns out to be a good one as well. You're making me yawn. No. You're making me freaking yawn.
Yeah. Make me yawn, man.
Come on, Swoop. Let's go. Chris,
Jordan.
I haven't asked you this. It's
Have
weird
you?
that we're on the second episode and this question has not been asked. But what have you been up to, buddy, old pal, friendo guy,
Keeping
man
with
of
the
friend?
theme of the show, failure.
Okay.
Okay.
Want to talk about your life story? Okay.
Yeah. Jordan,
Yes.
I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
Car wiper blades. Okay? The little pieces of rubber that go when it rains to clear the water off your windshield. When you go to replace those, how do they attach to the vehicle normally?
Normally it's like a little J hook, and you go.
Yeah, it's like a little hook.
Yeah. Little guy. Just a little guy.
I've owned like 6 vehicles, and they've all had that. That's been the case 100% of the time.
Just a little feller.
And I was like, man, my Fiesta needs wiper blades. It needs wiper blades. Because they're all shitty, and I bet they're the ones that were on there from the factory.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? They're all shitty. It's supposed to rain the next few days anyway, so I'll just get them done. I'll get some Rain X2, polish that under the windshield. I'll be chilling. Which, Rain X, that shit works fantastic.
Yeah.
So, buy that if that's what you want. So I go to AutoZone. I need wiper blades for my Fiesta ST. Talk to the guy at the counter. We were instantly like that. We hit it off. We were boys, We were having a good time. I was talking to him. We were shooting the shit. And we got the, See, this is the thing. He was interested in my Fiesta ST, okay? You know all I'm saying? So, anyway, we were having a good time. We were immediately boys. We got the wiper blades. It was a whole thing. There was a special going on, so I got washer fluid for free, too. So,
Chilling.
I get home. I gotta put my wiper blades on. Because it's like, they can install them there, but it's like, whatever, it's fine. It's like 90 fucking degrees out. I'll just do it at my house. Go back to my house, and I get one of them out of the package. And, I gotta take my wiper blade off. And it's like there's a little thing. Okay, so the wiper arm comes up, folds up like it, and there's a button that you push, and then it just pulls out, and it's just a slot that like slots in. It's not a hook. And I go, I was unprepared to deal with such equipment today. How do I put this thing with the hook on it, or that hooks onto the one with the hook? How do I put that onto here, which has like a little cartridge system that slides in? It's like a 2-piece kind of one of these, and it locks in. I go, okay, there's got to be a way to do this. And I'm like, looking at this wiper blade. I'm looking at like the back of the package. I'm like, there's got to be a fucking way to do this. I'm looking it up on YouTube. I'm like, what the fuck? And I just came to the conclusion that's like, you know what? These are probably just wrong. Whatever. I go back to the store the next day. And I said, hey, I bought these yesterday, and I'm either doing something very wrong or these are just wrong. And he looked at them, and I explained the whole situation, and he goes, yeah, these ones are just wrong. And I was like, oh. I figured it was just going to be a hook like anything else, every other vehicle. I go, I don't know what was wrong with that. Why they changed it, but whatever. So I finally got the right ones, and it was especially annoying because the ones I got, you now have to there's the little thing on it that connects to the hook, the little J hook, and you have to peel that off, literally, like break it off of the wiper blade, and you're left with just like a little metal thing, and then you hook on an adapter that slides into that cartridge slot. And they include like 15 adapters. So it's like, finding the right one's not the problem, because I knew which one I needed from looking it up the other day. But it's just so much extra shit.
For such a basic system.
Yeah, so it's like, when you would change your wiper blades with just the hook style system, the only trash you're generating
is the blades.
Now it's the blades, 2 plastic bags, a bunch of little plastic adapters. It's just more shit to throw away. It's kind of like wasteful. When you could have just used the same amount of plastic you've already always been using and kept it the same. That's
right.
The point of a standard. It's supposed to be standard. And that standard of wiper blades has existed for like 100 fucking years.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, yeah, you gotta have a fucking Ford moment.
Yeah, I'm almost as shocked as when I learned a few weeks ago that Volkswagen wiper blades don't lift up.
What?
They don't hinge up.
What are you supposed to do in the snow?
Get fucked.
Okay.
I was talking to the Giraffe Man about it. So Giraffe Man.
Yeah, I guess so.
The Giraffe Man, and I were talking about my wipers and his wipers, and he had just put new ones and I put new ones, and then our other colleague, who has a Volkswagen Atlas, I said something like, oh, you should do your wipers or whatever. That's what it was. This was a while ago. I remember now. It was snowing. And I said, oh, do you want me to put your wipers up to the Giraffe Man? This is before he left our area. And he was like, yeah, sure. So I went to my other colleague with the Volkswagen and was like, do you want me to put your wipers up? He goes, they don't go up. I was like, no, like fold them up so that the snow doesn't freeze into the window. And the Giraffe Man was like, yeah, no, Volkswagens don't go up. And I was like, nah, you're fucking lying. So I went out there. It's one solid steel bar. And he said no Volkswagens go up.
It snows in Germany, right? Like,
I would think so.
Because for people who live places where it doesn't snow, when it snows, so your windshield wipers don't freeze to your windshield, and then you go to, move them and they fucking destroy themselves.
Mm-hmm. For happened with my Explorer.
When it snows, or the night before, you just fold them up. There's a little arm, it folds them up.
And then just stand up straight.
And they just stand up, and that's fine. And that's been how it's worked forever.
It also makes it nice and easy to clean the window.
Yeah. And now, leave it to German cars and Fords to make things difficult.
And what the Giraffe Man told me too, because he used to be a mechanic, like actually working in the field, is whenever you would do wipers on a Volkswagen, they would put rads against the windshield because you can pull it up, but it doesn't stand up on its own. You can pull it up a couple inches to get the blade off. And he said if you fuck up and take the blade off and then let it go, it'll smash into the window and shatter it because it won't stand up.
Yeah.
So he said they got in the habit of lifting it and putting rads to dampen it. So you could, be extra careful with it. I just thought that was absolutely
That is
asinine.
so stupid. That is so stupid. I cannot believe that.
Yeah. Do you know if your Golf ever? Did you ever notice it?
I never folded them up.
Yeah, he told me, from what I remember, I could be quoting wrong, he said every Volkswagen doesn't do that. And I was like, what?
That's wild to me.
I thought it was going to be like a supercar thing. Like, oh, the supercars don't. Okay, cool, sure. But he
Which
said
is like,
all of them.
you're not going to have it where it snows anyway.
Right. Yeah. So,
like, when it snows, it's going to be in a garage somewhere.
No, man, I'm going to use 900 horsepower rear-wheel drive right through the snow.
Bro, honestly, I'm going to be real. Most of those cars get, like, garage parked. If I was, like, balling, if I had, like, Bezos money, I would have, like, some ridiculously expensive car, and I would just, like, I wouldn't even driveway park it. I'd street park it. I would have it parked on my street.
Yeah.
on a very busy road. I was
And
street
never
parked
fold my
like
mirrors
a Ferrari 458 or something, and it's just like, and I would let it get dirty and disgusting just because I can.
Right.
Because the people who keep them clean and fine, they're obviously not driving them.
Right.
That's why my Fiesta's kind of disgusting, because it's like, I drive this car. I
daily.
treat it like a daily driver. I don't have time to, like, keep it in a garage. I don't have a spot to put it in a garage. And I don't have time to, like, clean it, every time it goes,
Or
it
put
rains.
a cover on it and then
put a cover
take
on
it off every single time you leave.
Exactly. So
Yeah, no,
that
makes
was
sense.
a little side note, but still, my point stands. That's a Ford moment and a Volkswagen moment.
Yeah.
So
Overcomplicate.
yeah, I've always heard that Fords in general are a lot more difficult to work on than anything else.
Right.
So, and even just looking at other stuff on my Fiesta ST, it's been like a pain in the ass.
Well, like the torque bits holding your air filter in?
Dude, that's asinine. I wanted to look at my air filter, and I was like, okay, simple. Because I have the Cobb rear motor mount. The previous owner had installed it. So I was like, okay, did he have the rest of the Stage 1 kit, which is just a high-flow air filter?
Right.
And I was like, okay, does he have that? And I go and I'm like, all right, let me open my air filter thing. That's bizarre. Because on every other car, it's like 4 little clips. It's like a little clips you just and just pull it off. There's your air filter. Nope. There was either 4 or 6 Torx like T10s or T12s or something.
Yep.
Why? You really don't want me to get into the fucking thing, do you?
No.
It's like, so I had to do all that. I had to undo all these screws and open it and find out it's not even the performance air filter. So it's just a stock one.
So then you have to put it back and then get the performance filter and then take it off.
So.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
And when I looked at it, when I was going to do my oil change and then found out that my drain plug was completely seized on there, so I took it to someone to take care of that, because I'm like, I don't have a lift, and I really don't want to have to put an oil pan in this thing, so I want to have someone else deal with this. So if they break it, it's their problem.
Right.
So, but I was looking and I was like, I think there's it's a small intercooler or something, and there's a big hose. It might even just be straight up the radiator. I don't remember exactly. But there's a hose that runs right underneath the oil filter. So the oil filter's so if I was under the car, I would have to reach way up to right here, but in the center of the grill to get this oil filter. And it's like that. And there's a hose right under it. So
That's a Ford moment.
yeah. I never had any of these issues on my Chevys.
Yeah.
All I'm saying.
Well, this reminds me of the other weekend when I went to do my oil change, and when I first got the car, I went to do the air filter, and I noticed that the whole housing was loose, so I tightened it back down. I was like, that's weird. Then I found a loose vacuum hose, and went, someone touched something at one point.
Someone's been in
and
here.
I left it loose. No big deal, though. Quick tighten up, all good to go. And the other day, I jacked up my car to do the oil change, and I look underneath, and my base pan is just all oily. I'm like, what the fuck? So I wipe it off. I'm like, yeah, that's oil. So I'm looking, and there's a drain plug in there, and my dad believed it could be a custom drain plug, because it's something people do a lot of times. They just put their own drain plug in, and it just doesn't look factory. I was like, okay. I check it, and it's loose, and I'm like, okay. So I tighten that down, and then I start to tighten down the base pan a little, or check the actual bolts, and they're all super loose. I'm like, what the fuck? So I tightened them all just a little bit. I didn't want to go too crazy with it. And then I was talking to the draft man about it, and he made me a suggestion, because he said a lot of those screw into aluminum. So to look up the exact bolt pattern that you're supposed to torque them in, and then torque them to the right spec, and don't just hand tighten them, or you'll just ream it out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that at some point, but I'm like, this thing's fucking loose. I'm like, who worked on this? Why is so much shit loose? It pisses me off. Fucking annoying.
It is what it is, man. It's just annoying. At least it's annoying because it was done wrong, not annoying because of how the car is constructed.
Right. And then it's like, it's almost as annoying as when I was like, let me do my fuel filter. And I went underneath the car and I'm like, I see the tank. I see the fuel pump. Where the fuck is the fuel filter? And I'm searching and I'm searching and I'm searching and I'm searching. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I cannot find it. So I look up a video. And I don't really like to look up videos unless I really have to. I like to just try to figure it out. So I look up a video and the guy drops down to where I am and he's like, there it is. And I'm like,
no, there isn't.
I'm like, there's nothing there. What the fuck's going on? So I start looking up my model and a bunch of different stuff. And I find out that the California model, because of emissions, has the fucking fuel filter inside the fuel tank. So you have to remove the tank to replace the filter.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works on most of them now.
And I was incredibly pissed.
Unless like diesels will have exposed filters because you have to change them regularly. They're like oil filters. It's like you have to change them every so often.
Yeah. So I was pissed.
But
that's annoying.
Yeah, that shit is annoying.
Yeah.
So, but that's like, again, not because they're shit at designing things. It's because they were bound by the law.
Yeah.
Like they had to do it a certain way.
Yeah.
So,
I was still pissed.
It's just that I understand that, like, with my Fiesta, it's like they're working with a lot in a small space.
Mm-hmm.
But at the very least, the fucking air filter, it's like you could have put clips on there.
Yeah, there's no reason for torch.
The wiper blades could have been the regular wiper blades.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
That's just a-hole design, for sure.
So, it's annoying. Man, it was just annoying. I'm annoyed.
I could see why. But, Chris, you know what I'm excited for? I'm trying to psych myself up. Like, I psyched myself up, and I'm trying to maintain my expectations. Because the Steam Deck, we all know I'm excited for it. You're fairly excited for it. And there's a Steam Deck bot that calculates your time in queue. So it uses the current orders numbers and statuses of orders to figure out where you were in the queue and how many orders have been fulfilled up to that point to estimate like where you're at. So a few weeks ago, I was like, I gotta be like right there. Like, I'm probably next, baby. And I put all my information in. So you actually pull up a command prompt on Steam and you can pull a special code that is like down to the millisecond you ordered where you are. And you give that to the bot and you tell it what model you ordered and what country, if it's a USA or Europe pretty much, or continent, I guess you could say. And it tells you where you are in queue. And like 2 weeks ago, it told me I was 43% of the way there. And I was like,
damn.
Wow, that fucking blows.
Yeah.
I was so upset. I was like, I
devastated.
I genuinely contemplated finding one on eBay when I saw that. I contemplated it. I was like, I might have to just buy a third-hand one. Like, I'm not going to wait until February of next year to fucking get it. Like, that's absurd to me. So I just gave it some time. I waited. Q3 was right around the corner, and it says I'm in Q3. So I was like, let me just wait it out and see how things go, at least for like until August or September. And if I don't get it by then, I'll get one third-hand and keep the reservation and then eventually just buy that and maybe sell it.
Dude, not even second-hand. He's going to get third-hand, bro.
Well, yeah, I was thinking Valve to customer to me, but yeah, it's secondhand. That's what I meant. So then Valve tweeted, and they said, "Hey, good news, we finished Q2 early, and also Q3, we're over doubling the amount of Steam Decks we're putting out every week." And I was like,
damn,
cool, I'll get it sometime in July maybe, or maybe August. No big deal. So the first batch came out Thursday. June 30th, that was their first Q3 batch, and I didn't get it, and I was like, damn, I part of me was like, oh, I'm going to get it, and then I didn't get it, and I was like, oh, shit, that sucks. So I was at 43% before, so I was like, all right, maybe sometime later in July, but I decided to go back to that bot, and I put in my numbers, and I went from 43% to 86%.
There you go.
Meaning,
you doubled.
I may get it Monday.
Damn.
Maybe.
Damn.
Not get it, but get the order, and then I'll get it like a week later. If not Monday, maybe Thursday, assuming the batches keep going like they are, because they're doing every Monday and Thursday. That's when they do the orders. So if they keep this double thing going, I might be right fucking there, baby. The hype is building, but I'm trying to keep myself in check.
Because I had looked, and it seems that the lowest spec model, the one that I'm getting, is the least popular.
Yeah. It is. It's the easiest one to get.
So I might actually get mine rather soon. I could even check now.
Yeah, mine is. Let me see. I think I deleted
All right,
the fucking...
settle down.
I think I fucking deleted the email from the Steam Deck guy. From Mr. Deckbot. Let me find it. I got it here somewhere. Oculus, Reddit right here. So, let me see. When I checked, it said you ordered 2 hours, 29 minutes, and 2 seconds after pre-orders opened. There are currently 24 minutes worth of pre-orders before yours when it was an hour before. And it says you're 84% of the way there. So, that's pretty fucking exciting. So, if it went up 40%, I might be in this next batch, which would be incredible. Because I just really want this fucking Steam Deck, dude. I was able to play games all day yesterday because I had the day off. Prior to yesterday, I had not played a video game for like a week and a half. I've been too fucking busy with everything. And then anytime that like I do technically have time to play video games, Letsy like really wants to like just lay in bed together and like just hang out. And I'm like, but I like can't. But like with the Steam Deck, I can. So this thing's gonna be amazing.
It's just really tough to keep a man away from his deck.
Can I say I really want to play with my deck like
I
for
yearn
hours.
I yearn to play with my deck.
Yeah.
You know, me and Jordan getting together, playing with our decks together.
Chris and I, what we're gonna do
trading decks.
After this camping trip, we're gonna schedule another one where we're gonna just go out in the middle of the woods and play with our decks for fucking hours.
We're gonna have a deck party. We're gonna be decking each other down.
Double decker
decking. You know what I'm saying?
I can't believe Alex didn't even like put in a reservation. I don't think, did he?
No.
I really thought the deck would
kill
be.
him.
I really thought the Steam Deck would be right up his alley. Seems like something he would like.
I don't know.
He's gonna be the only one with no one playing with his deck.
Well, here's the thing with Alex is he's like, "Yo, that's cool. How much is that? $2? I'm not spending that. That's what he does.
Yeah.
That's what he does. He's like, "This thing's great. I'm not spending money though."
Yeah, Alex really do be like that. That's what Letsy does too.
And I am like that to a degree where I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. Nah, it's a bit pricey though." Or I'll be like, "Oh, well, I guess I can justify that." Like the Steam Deck is like, "Oh, this is neat. It's gonna be hard to get. I know for a fact, and I want the cheapest one." So
yeah. For me, it's a little bit of the opposite. It's like there's certain things I'll spend my money on. I don't like spending money on food. Letsy's the opposite. She would rather go spend $100 on like a really nice meal, and I would rather go spend $100 on something like technology related or a video game.
See, because it depends though. Is like if it's something that's gonna be useful to me for a significant amount of time.
Right.
Like these lights, I was even like, man, this sucks. It's $160 for these.
Right.
But I spent it because I'm like, long term, we're going to need them, so.
Right. No, that makes sense. It's definitely a good way to look at it. For me, it's just like the Steam Deck to me, I haven't watched any major reviews. I've watched people talk about it, but I don't want to see any reviews. I don't even want to know what the UI looks like, truthfully. I don't want to know what the boot up screen looks like. I want that all to just be me figuring it out when I get it. So, from what I've seen and heard, like, and people talk about it and like what games are playable, and I'm watching people play Red Dead, and God of War is verified by Steam as playable.
Yeah.
This is the handheld that I have always wanted. Everyone always had the DS, and I was like, yeah, the DS is okay, but like you don't do much with it. Everyone had the Game Boy. I was a little too old for it. I was like, yeah, it's okay. I've been playing old games on it. PSP was the first one where I was like, oh, I really like this. And then the PS Vita, I was like, dude, this is amazing. I can play my PlayStation games. This is incredible. Uncharted is on here. This is great. And then Sony stopped supporting it. They had Assassin's Creed. I remember the PS Vita gets announced. The white edition, the white one, comes with Assassin's Creed Liberation. It's the first ever handheld Assassin's Creed game. I was like screaming. I'm like, Mom, you gotta buy me this. She fucking goes out of her way. She gets this special limited edition, buys it. I'm like, this is incredible. I'm playing Assassin's Creed on a handheld. They stopped supporting it. Mine broke. Then the Switch comes out, and I'm like, this is amazing, dude. This is great. I get it. I'm like, it's amazing, but it's not for me. And then they announced the Steam Deck that is literally, here's your Steam library for the most part. Those games that you like playing, just like hit a button, and they pretty much mostly work. If not,
Yeah.
absolutely work. Like God of War is verified, which according to their verified credentials means you just hit play and it works.
And it works verifiably.
Yeah.
I like the. I've said it a million times. I like that this is a thing now because of the support for Proton specifically.
Right.
Because it was already a very heavily developed thing, but having all this support now for it because of how popular the Steam Deck is, it just goes to show that it's going to be sooner rather than later where Linux is like an alternative, like a real alternative to Windows. Because like it already kind of is, but there's not many distros where you can get away with doing zero Linux stuff. You like still have to do some stuff in the terminal.
Right.
In general.
It's not just plug and play essentially.
And there's a lot of people, a lot of weird purists who want to keep it in the terminal. It's like, oh, I want everything to be terminal based. Check out this terminal based video player. I'm like, the fuck would I want that for?
Right.
I want to use fucking MPV when I can just use fucking VLC, click the thing, and it shows up in a program.
Right.
So, you know.
Do they do that because it's resource intensive, quote unquote? Because you're not technically using resources if it's terminal based versus running a program?
Well, you're using less resources, I guess, because a lot of people in the community are like, they gotta be autistic. Because they're like, check this out, I fucking hacked away my kernels, so I'm using fucking 6 megabytes of RAM at my window manager. Oh, great. How much RAM do you have? I have a terabyte of RAM. Oh, great. Okay, yeah. So why do you need to use only like 60 megabytes?
Because it's cool.
Because it's not bloated. Oh, okay. Can you go to like Firefox or something? Can you like pull up a YouTube video? No, I don't have web browser installed. That's bloat. Fuck you.
My internet computer cannot have the web browser.
I got fucking oh my god, what's that shit ass terminal based one? I forget. There's a terminal based browser. Yes, there is a terminal based browser. I forget what it's called.
Called shit and dick is what it's
but
called.
It's like you get those people that are like, well, check this out. I got my kernel down so that it's like I can, run it at fucking 40 megabytes at desktop. Great. What if I just wanted, to run like Ubuntu or like Manjaro or something? No, that's too bloated. Okay. I use like at desktop with nothing running, it's like a gig of RAM. I have 64 gigs of RAM. I think I got the room.
Yeah.
I think I got the room. You don't have to do all this, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you shouldn't and that it's stupid if you are. I'm saying that if you do it and you have this air of superiority and think everyone should do it, then
you're stupid.
You can kindly go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
So.
I did make a decision with the Steam Deck too. I don't think I'm gonna fuck with it much. Where I'm not gonna.
I'm probably gonna do some hacking around with it.
I would like to, but I just kind of want it to be like a console, pretty much, where I'm like, hey, boot up this game. Okay, I'm playing. So, like my first game to play, I'm gonna bounce between like State of Decay, God of War. God of War is the main one that I want to like. That's my day one game. Like I want to install that first, boot it up, and I want that to be like my first exposure to the Steam Deck. And I hope it goes well.
What I really want, out of the Steam Deck, is I think Spider-Man is gonna be
incredible.
Is gonna be a good
fun
one.
time.
Just because, I don't know. I just think like having it right here and it's a controller all built in. I think is going to be pretty neat.
Like I'm gonna try. I'm not going to do this for an extended period of time, but like I'm gonna try and like field test the Steam Deck when I get it. So I'm gonna bring it to work and see if like when I'm on lunch, if I can just like, how quickly can I boot into like God of War and do something, or
probably
boot into whatever.
fairly quickly.
Because that's more the test that I kind of want to run with it, or like State of Decay or something, or Bully. Those are like the first couple games I want to try. So
yeah, the only concern I have is like Game Pass. Like if you wanted to get Game Pass up and running,
it's actually pretty easy to do.
Is it?
Yeah, relatively.
I wouldn't imagine it was easy just because of like when I looked it up, I was like, man, can I just do Game Pass like through Wine or something and run it on my Linux build, and people were like, the way Microsoft does files for Game Pass, probably not.
Yeah.
And I didn't look too deep into it because I was like, I already had this. Oh, I didn't even talk about my new setup. I got to talk about that. Just give me a second. I had this new setup going. I was like, you know what? Yeah. It's just easier to just do it this way. So I didn't mess with it too much. So maybe it is easier than I thought. But regardless, I got to talk about my new setup. I can't believe I didn't put this on the notes.
Right.
So, this computer that we're recording with right now, it's just sitting here. Okay. And it's not a bad computer. It's got an i7. 5820K. It's got 32 gigs of RAM. It's got a GTX 1080. It was my old gaming computer, and it's still a formidable gaming computer. So I'm like, man, this thing's just fucking sitting here, and I hate rebooting every time I want to use Windows because I use Linux 98% of the time.
Right.
And it's like if I just want to do something on Windows, it's like a whole fucking thing. And then an idea popped into my head, and I saw my old gaming laptop. I was like, man, what if I use this and I run it on a KVM switch? Now, a KVM switch takes USB and video input from devices and outputs them to one monitor. So my keyboard and mouse is plugged in, my monitor is plugged in, and the original setup was going to be my gaming laptop and my desktop plugged in so I could switch between the two and use the same peripherals. And I did that, and I'm like, man, my gaming laptop sucks. Because it's like, I booted up Red Dead, and I put it on, like, low settings. And it was running at, like, 30 FPS maybe. And my laptop was screaming.
Right.
It was screaming. It was like, I complained about the PS4, and it turned out that, like, after it was given to the draft man, he cleaned it. It was fine after that. I know that's not even the problem on this because that did that out of the box.
Yeah.
That's been that loud since I opened it brand new out of the box. So I was like, man, this sucks. You know what I can do? I have this sliding window here, so in case like a fire breaks out, I need a second way to get out. Essentially, if I want to let some airflow in, I have this sliding window. My dad got it from a doctor's office that he did. And I opened it up a little bit, ran my cables out to this desktop that I have, plugged it in. It's worked beautifully. So now if I want to do something on Windows, I just hit the button. I have a little remote.
Yeah.
Switch between 1 and 2. I switch over to 2, Windows.
Can the KVM switch actually turn on the computer, or does it have to already be on?
No, it already has to be on, which isn't that big of a deal.
No, you get one of those little robot button things. Have you seen those? They put them on light switches. You can get that little robot finger that's like, you can put that on there so it presses the button if you wanted to.
I got one of those once. It was like a little kit where you would build it, and it was like a little thing you put on it had a little IR receiver in it, and then a little servo that would flick the switch.
Yeah.
I had one of those once.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. You could get something like that if you ever needed to. But no, that's good though. Yeah, it sounds a lot more streamlined and better because, it's a desktop 1080.
It's a hell of a lot better. Like, playing Red Dead 2... I have to dial back the settings, like it's on medium, but it still looks good and it still runs pretty well.
Yeah. What resolution are you at? 1440 or
1440? Because I'm running it on my main monitor.
That's good.
And it runs fairly well. But what I have been playing a lot of is not Red Dead. What I have been playing a lot of is because I just re-upped the Game Pass recently. And I have been playing Forza Horizon 5. Because I wanted to play Forza Horizon 5. Forza Horizon 5 because I saw an ad on Instagram for Forza Horizon, or for, the game. And the ad was a new Ford Bronco backing out of a cargo plane and parachuting down. I was like, that's fucking awesome. I want to play that game.
Yeah.
So, like, oh shit, it's probably on Game Pass.
Right.
Sure enough, it's on Game Pass.
Right.
So I downloaded it. It's like 105 gigs, this fucking game. It's huge.
Same size as Red Dead, yeah.
So I installed the game, and, man, it is fucking fun.
Yeah.
It is fucking fun. It is My only issue with it is it's got like the Xbox 360 GTA Online loading screens, dude. It's like you hit the continue button to go into the game, you're gonna be in that loading screen for like 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
I was in a loading screen the other day, and I was like on my phone for a second. I was like, man, this is taking a while. I put my phone down, and I just went like this in my chair, and I was like, I almost legitimately fell asleep waiting for this fucking game to load. That's how long it takes. That's my only issue with it. It takes a long time to load. But that scene with the Bronco in the plane, that's like the very beginning of the game.
Yeah.
So what happens is, this is what really hooked me in, because I think I've explained this concept before of like games when they want to be, when a game wants to be played, okay, when a developer really tries to hook someone on a game, they throw them right into the action.
Right.
It's like movies do that too. You're thrown like right into the action, and it's like, oh shit, how did we get here? Right? And it does that where you're on the plane, you see the plane going over, they introduce Mexico as the area, and then it's the Ford Bronco, the cargo hatch opens, and you fucking parachute out in the Bronco, and you drive through the deserts, and then you end up on this like this rally race area, and then it snaps back to the plane, and then it like slowly kind of the ramp comes down, and it's closer to the road now, and you back out in a C8 Corvette, and you're driving 180 miles an hour down the road in this C8 Corvette, and you get where you need to go, and then you go back to the plane, and you're dropped in a Porsche 911 driving through the jungle to this temple, and you get to the temple, and then you go back to the plane, and you get in a Mercedes AMG 1, and you're going like 250 miles an hour down the road to the main event hub. It's so fucking fun.
Yeah.
Just that one segment, I was like, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Gives you a taste of everything.
So, and those cars that are in the intro, they give you all of them, like, right off the bat.
Yeah.
So you get the Bronco. I think, no, you might not get that Porsche. You start with a Bronco, the Corvette.
And the Audi. The BMW. Rather.
Oh, you don't get the Mercedes. You don't get the AMG one.
Oh, that's what it was.
So you start off with the Corvette, the Bronco, the 911, and the GR Supra. Oh. You don't get the AMG one. But I got a bunch of stuff. Like, you get a bunch of stuff for starting the game, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I was scrolling through all the tabs in the menu, and there's, like, a gifts section. I was like, what is this? And there's, like, all these Forza, like, community manager gifts or whatever.
Right.
And I was like, oh, huh. Claim. And it was, like, 20 cars.
Wow.
So it was like a Corvette, like the same Corvette, C8 Corvette, but it was like specially wrapped. There was, oh my God, I think it was another Mercedes. There was, I got a fucking Bugatti Divo.
God damn.
Like the Super Chiron. So it's fucking fun.
Yeah.
And then you get a bunch of, you get, like, wheel spins. You can spin wheels, like a little Wheel of Fortune type beat.
Right.
And you get different prizes and rewards for that, and that's pretty cool. I like that element of it. And it's not like a microtransaction thing either. You just get one for leveling up, or you can get them through skills on your cars.
Is Forza Horizon 6 out?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Horizon 5 came out in, like, November of last year.
Yeah. So Horizon 5, that's the one with all the seasons, I think.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I always liked that about having the all seasons. Is it local to your time?
No, so it's like, think of like Fortnite seasons. It's kind of like that, where it's like it'll run for a certain amount of time, but the actual season, as in the weather, changes as well.
Right.
So, like right now it's in autumn, and there's like 5 days left of that. So the event, and there's certain events that are tied to certain seasons and certain stuff you can get for doing certain events. So this one ends off, and then it starts like winter.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Because I was like, man, there's no snow in this game, but there's option to put snow tires on your vehicles. That's weird. And then I saw the seasons thing, so I guess it makes sense.
Right.
But it is fucking fun. You can build all kinds of crazy shit in that game too.
Yeah.
So with all the tuning options you have, you can do like engine and drivetrain swaps. So you can build crazy shit like a like a Corvette that's all-wheel drive with a fucking 1800 horsepower V12.
Jesus Christ.
That's just ridiculous. You can do all kinds of crazy shit. I have, there's like 500 cars. There's like almost 600 cars, I think, to choose from. The first one I bought, of course, Fiesta ST. I bought a Fiesta ST right off the rip because they have the same one. It's the same generation as the one I have, actually. It's like, all right, cool. I'm playing with this. I'm like, man, this Fiesta ST is pretty neat. Doesn't sound like this in real life. It sounds way cooler in the game.
Yeah.
But you can do crazy setups with it. Like, I have the one in the game tuned to like 350 horsepower or something, and I have it changed so it's all-wheel drive.
Oh wow.
So you do a lot of neat shit in there.
That's pretty sick.
I've seen some tuning setups because you can get community tuning setups. Some have tuned it up to like 670 or 680 horsepower. Damn. So it's pretty ridiculous what you can do. Like the weirdest one I have is the BMW Isetta, the little bubble car.
Yeah.
That's in the game, and you can do an engine swap. And I did the engine swap in all the relevant power mods. I have one that's making like 700 horsepower.
Holy shit.
Undrivable.
Yeah.
It is undrivable. I'm like, oh, this is funny. I'm going to drive this around a little bit. You hit the trigger for gas, and you just start spinning.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I'm like, okay, maybe this wasn't meant to do this.
Right. Oh, Jesus.
Jesus, man.
Fucking
causing a fucking ruckus over here.
Jesus.
But if you're looking for a car game, if you're a car guy, or you just like cars or whatever.
Or you just like racing games?
You just like racing games. Try Forza Horizon 5.
It's on Game Pass.
Fantastic.
$1 for 3 months.
That shit is fantastic. I'm having a blast.
Yeah, I never played it. Always wanted to. I never did.
There's certain events where like you can progress like the event hubs. So there's like 6 event hubs, and each event hub unlocks different types of events.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and as you progress through the game or do certain things, you get points to like progress this event hub.
Right.
And at the end of each one, there's like a huge race, like 40 miles.
Damn.
And I did 2 last night. The main Horizon event, I did the last one, and the road racing or street racing event, I did the last one. And the race, I think the first was like 38 miles, and the second was like 36. I was like there with my car just like this. And I was so focused because, as much as I praise the game, okay, I'm not good at it. Right. So I have things turned down, like difficulty turned down, so that the drivers are set from like, instead of average, they're set to like novice.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? I like to win, and I'm not good at this game.
Right.
So let me make everyone else suck. So I was just so intently focused, because even with these dialed back players, I was still like, I still had to like really focus, or else I was gonna fall behind in the race. But it's pretty fun. Especially those races are crazy fun.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Yeah, I've always wanted
solid
to play Forza.
recommend.
I liked Dirt 5. Dirt 5 was pretty cool. I played it in VR, and I just wasn't like super into the way it was implemented in VR, but the base game's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's just rally racing, right?
Yeah, Dirt Rally is. Dirt 5, I don't think is. I think Dirt 5 is both.
Well, what I like the most, I don't know if this is how it is in Dirt 5, but in the Forza Horizon games, what I like the most is that it's open world. You're just
Dirt isn't. I don't believe
put into an open world instead of racing all the time.
You can just drive around.
There's a ton of extra stuff to explore.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I know that. It was almost like The Crew, but like actually good.
Yeah. The Crew is like, man, I got The Crew for free. and
Still
I
want a
still
refund.
felt like I was ripped off.
Still want a refund, yeah.
Honestly, it's not even because it was like bad. It was just boring. Because I was like, you do the original story, and the original story, the beginning of the story is, oh man, yo, it's your brother. Oh man, your brother's dead. That's the beginning of the story. You're like, man, I'm not invested in this. I don't care.
You're like, see this guy? Like him. He's dead now. Gotcha. You're like, huh?
I didn't even like this guy.
What?
I didn't even like this guy. I didn't even know who I couldn't even tell you his name.
Right.
And the only real cool concept about that was like the map of the US that's like not even quite accurate.
Right.
So, because I was expecting it to be more accurate because of the way it was marketed.
Yeah.
Because in the marketing, they said, hey, it's a realistic map of the U.S. Right? You can go coast to coast. It's crazy. It's that all the map of the U.S. And then you look at the map in the game, and it's like, man, this could be the U.S. If it was early in the morning, I didn't have my glasses on, and I was squinting, and the map I was looking at was really small and really far away, that's how I would perceive it. Like, oh yeah, that's the U.S.
Yeah.
But no, it's just not quite. I would like to see a game like that with a scale model of the U.S.
Give Flight Simulator. They should do it.
Yeah, but I want Drive, not Fly.
No, I know. I'm saying like they should make one. They should have Drive Simulator from Microsoft, because Microsoft Flight Simulator has the entire world to scale. It's kind of crazy.
I think if there's a game that could pull it off, it'd be Forza.
Yeah.
Because it's a Microsoft property, so they have money behind them.
Right.
So maybe not a scale model, so it's like 1-to-1. Have it, maybe like quarter scale or something.
Yeah.
So it's still a significantly large map, like 1,000 miles,
Right.
or 800 miles from coast to coast. But it's just a smaller version,
Right.
of the U.S.
You would want just the U.S., not the whole world, right?
Well, I want to be realistic here.
Well, Flight Simulator has the whole world to scale. They just used satellite images and did it. But that's the purpose, because you're obviously in the air for most of it. So you could definitely do, satellite images and then probably a lot of procedural generation and make like a 2-scale model. It just wouldn't be like 1-to-1 in terms of design, but it'd be very, very close.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I honestly think it would be easy to do something like that, like the generation for like the Midwest. The major cities, you could probably model 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Like New York, bigger cities like
LA.
even going down the coast, like Nashville and
Say fuck it,
Atlanta
LA.
and shit.
Just give me LA.
Or LA, yeah. On the West Coast, like LA and Seattle and shit.
Yeah.
That would be cool to have those kind of model, but everything else kind of be procedural or something.
Go far east, Boston.
Yeah.
Give him some Boston.
Yeah, it would be the only thing you do in any of those cities that I just named, Boston, LA, New York, all you do, the only driving you get to do is 5 miles an hour in traffic.
Yeah. And get rear-ended, you're like, fuck. I've always wanted to see real traffic modeling in games. That'd be insane.
How do you mean?
Like, imagine a game, we'll say like The Crew, where if you're in, or GTA better, where the population density in GTA for a replica of California is
way too
loose.
Way
Too loose. There's no traffic ever. Like, there's maybe a couple of cars at a red light, but like, there's no bumper to bumper. Like, I have a feeling if they do GTA 6, they're gonna have a section of the map that, like, because of the way Red Dead is, where they went for realism, and obviously they're two different franchises that do two different things, but I have a feeling they're gonna do a major city like that, and they're gonna have like a rush hour time frame.
I feel as though the reason they don't do that
wouldn't be as fun.
It wouldn't be as fun.
But I still think it could be if you had like rush hour traffic, you blew up one car and you just had like a line of cars blowing up.
That would be neat, but constantly having people in your way while you're trying to drive would be annoying as shit. Because even in Forza, the traffic is like really, really minimal.
Yeah.
Which is bizarre because I only play Horizon Solo, because there's Horizon Solo and there's like Horizon Life. Horizon Life is like massively multiplayer, so it's every other driver you're interacting with is another person.
Right.
There are some there's some NPC traffic, but the other drivers that you're interacting with are other people. And they keep that in Horizon Solo, but they're not people.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Ghosts
AI.
or whatever.
No, they're AI. And they just give them like gamer tags.
Oh, yeah, I have seen that.
Because it was confusing. I was like, I thought I was offline. And then I read, I was like, man, what's going on here? And I read, yeah, you have the fucking AI drivers with names. The only difference is, in Horizon Life, you can't hit each other.
Right.
You phase through each other. In Horizon Solo, you can ram into people, like, head on.
Right.
So what happened was, this is what happens sometimes, because these AIs drive like fucking lunatics, too. So I was parked somewhere. I was in the middle of the road, just sitting there, and near your house, you get like different houses, like near my house, and this car drives by me, clips my front fender, and spins me around. I'm like, I'm just parked. What did I do to you, man? So
Fucking awesome.
But yeah, you should play that game. Specifically.
Yeah, maybe I'll try it out. If they have the offline mode, I don't remember if it had a DRM lock to it.
No, actually it doesn't. As I was looking up, can you play it offline? And by offline I meant
like no internet.
By offline I meant solo. But in the process of looking at that, the question came up, can you play it without internet whatsoever? Yes, you can.
So I might get it.
I think there's an initial setup. There's an
Yeah.
initial setup that has to go through that you have to be connected to the internet for.
Yeah.
But everything else, and obviously, like, if you're not connected to the internet, you can't do community tracks, community tuning profiles, community designs and stuff. But the base game is all there.
Could be a Steam Deck game. We'll see. I know the hardest part about the Steam Deck right now is Ubisoft games, because they require online. So.
Oh yeah, for the DRM purposes.
People have kind of found a workaround where like you can go into like Uplay or Ubisoft Connect, set it to offline mode, log out, take the Steam Deck off Wi-Fi, and then log back in, and it will log you into like offline mode. But I'm like, I'm not gonna go through that because Ubisoft wants to be fucking stupid.
Because I was gonna say I've never had a whole host of problems with Ubisoft games on Linux.
Yeah.
I played through a good portion of Far Cry 5, and that worked pretty well.
Right. But I would fucking pass out over here. That's all I got.
Wake up. Wake up, Jordan. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Are you woken
Hello,
up?
my friend. Wake up, my friend. Throwback. Yeah. I'm done.
Okay, bye.
All right, so as always, find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Pocket Cast, and the RSS feed. You can put it into your favorite app. Contact us via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me, as well as YouTube comment section, as well as Instagram and TikTok, where we post shorts, comments, questions, concerns, and death threats. Send them over there. And stay tuned for the camping trip.
Yeah.
Watch episode 100, and fuck off.
Die.